How you doing, all right? Good evening, everyone. I would like to start with a question, all right? Have you ever been in a position where you have that feeling that people just don't want to do what you want them to do? What you tell them to do, right? So how many times have you been in a position that you are about to freak out because your team just don't follow your instructions, or employees don't want to get engaged with the strategy. Customers, they don't want to buy your product. Students, they just don't want to listen to the teacher. Kids, they just don't want to eat their lunch. So how many times have you been in a position where you had that bad idea, because it's definitely a bad idea, that the only thing you want to do is just kill them all because you're so upset about the idea that they just don't want to do what you tell them to do, what you want them to do. It seems like they're not listening, not following you. They just don't want to move. They just don't want to move. Well, moving people from one position to another position, from their position to your desired position, is one of the most complicated and difficult tasks every leader has to accomplish. And it's difficult because people just don't want to move. They don't like to move. They don't like to change. In fact, they resist to change. They don't want to change who they are, what they do, what they think, what they believe in. They just don't want to change. So they defend their own personal position with strength and determination. And here you are, trying to move them, giving instructions, telling them what to do. You try the soft way and then the hard way, right? But they just don't want to move. Man. And the big problem is, if you want to improve something, if you want to improve people, if you want to improve organization, culture, your team, or products, sales number, whatever that you want to improve, you don't have no other choice. You will have to move people first. You will have to change their behavior first. And you know why? Because improvement is all about evolution. Evolution is development, and development is change. And change is about moving all the time. Moving, constantly moving. Do you remember the definition of insanity of Albert Einstein, right? He said that insanity is doing the same thing all over and over and over and over and over and over again and expecting a different result. I mean, you gotta be crazy, right? There is no way you can improve something. There is no way you can improve yourself. There is no way something extraordinary is going to happen if you are not willing to move first, to change first, which means be different, act different, try different ways, think different. I mean, be more innovative, more creative, try different solutions, different ideas. Take risk, please, and fail, and fail, and fail, and fail, and fail, and fail, whatever it takes to improve, to win, to succeed. Martin Luther King, one of the greatest leaders in history, he once said, "If you cannot fly, well, then just run, run. If you cannot run, well, just walk. If you cannot walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, never stop moving, never. You have to always moving forward. Evolution, improvement, to get better all the time. That is what leadership is all about. Leadership is about the leader, you, someone, inspiring people to move in order to change them, which lead them into improvement, to get better, to succeed, to fly, to get better. So the big question then, all right, how do we move that guy? How do we move them? How can we understand the process of change? And how can we develop our skills in leadership? What can we do? All right. Let's analyze the following case. Stay with me, all right? Are you with me? All right. You are in front of a house, a friend's house. You want to get into the house. He's not opening the door. You don't know why. But you know he's in their house because you talked to him just a few seconds ago. So you decide to open the gate of the garden and to look if you can get into the house from the backyard. So you surround the house, you cross the garage, and suddenly you stop there right next to the pool, only 20 feet from the window to get into the house. And you stop there, freezing, ice cold, scared to death. There is that big dog just between you and that window in an aggressive and defensive position. And you're like, damn, what the hell am I supposed to do now? And you're like, you know you have two options. The first, just run. Run as you've never run before and take the risk to become the lunch of the dog, right? That's one option. It's a bad option. Second, you stay there and you try to move somehow the dog from his position in order to get into that house. How do you move that dog? How do you do that? Well, before we try to figure out how to move that dog, let's try to understand what happened with the dog, right? The dog is here, he's looking at you, asking questions like, who the hell are you? What do you want from me? What are you doing here? Where are you going? You want to get into the house? You want to kill me? You want to kill my family? You want to burn the house down? Who the hell are you? The dog is scared. He's unclear, unsure. He's afraid. And that explains why he is in a defensive position, right? Second, the dog is not attacking you yet. He's not attacking you. What is the dog doing? He's observing you, analyzing, trying to figure out what is going on. He has three options. Stick with me. Three options. First, I will keep maintaining my position. Defensive one. I'm not going to move. Second, if I discover that you are a real threat, I will attack you. Third, I might move. And I will move only if I trust you. Only if I trust you. Okay, so here you are. So how to move the dog? Let's think about what is that you cannot do, right, in that position. There are a lot of ideas, and you can resume it basically in two behaviors. First, please don't attack the dog, right? Don't try to harm him. Don't corner him. Don't do that. If you do that, what do you think the dog is going to conclude? He's a threat. He's going to attack. There's no way you can move a dog by attacking him. Moving them by his own will, right, is not going to happen. Don't attack him. Second, just don't show fear. Don't get desperate. Please, don't. You cannot scream, not at all. Why? Because the dog might smell that fear, so you become suspicious. And he won't trust you. So that means that he will attack you. Or at least he will keep in his position. I won't move. So I have to be in control. How do you move that dog? Well, by doing the opposite of attacking and showing fear, which means being kind, but brave, confident, in control, determined, but humble, strong, but helpful, clear and confident, but respectful all the time. Only then you might build trust. And the dog So let's try to understand human behavior. Dogs are animals, right? Hey, you forget that we are animals too. We are animals and we behave very similar to them. So how do we react in front of a change? What? Who the hell are you? What do you want from me? What do you want? I'm not going to do that. I don't care. No. Talk to another one. No. What do you want from me? My family, my future? You are scared. You are unclear. You're unsure. And that explains the reason why you are in a defensive position. Second, you are analyzing change, trying to figure out what's happened with that change. And you know you have three options. The first will be, I will be in that defensive position. Second, if I don't trust that change, and I discover that change is a threat for me and my family, I will attack immediately. And third, I might move if I believe in that change, if I trust in that change. Only then I might follow that change. So if you are in front of someone who just don't want to move, what is that you believe you cannot do by any means? There are a lot of ideas, right, but you can't resume it in 2 words, right? First, oh man, please, don't attack him. Don't try to harm him. Don't corner him. Do you really think you can move people by harming people? By attacking them? Hey, do your job or you're fired. You hear me? And suddenly, you do that job. And you're like, it works. It works. Man, I can keep being an asshole. It works. Great. That's so cool. What you don't know is that he is doing the job with a 30% of productivity. And there is no way you build a strong and competitive company or organization with a 30% of productivity. It's not going to happen. So what is the challenge? Move that guy into 100% of productivity and then build the best company ever and make real big change in life. But that is not going to happen if you harm him, if you attack him. Don't attack the one who just don't want to move. Second, please, when you have to communicate the change, don't show fear. Don't get desperated. No. Because when he discovered that fear, you become suspicious. Change becomes suspicious. You become suspicious. So I won't trust you. I'm not going to move then. You have to be in control. In order to move people, you have to build trust. You build trust by being brave, in control, and kind to people. So let's try to understand it in a much more academic perspective. I've read a lot of books, papers, documents, articles related to trust and leadership. And they all have a very similar understanding of the nature of trust. I work normally with a model called the Karman model, and that model explains trust in 2 dimensions. Interpersonal dimension, personal dimension on the left side. You see that? So let's take a view, very quick view into those quadrants. First, there's no way you can move somewhere there. I mean, come on. Being unkind and insecure, I mean, they will attack you all the time. They will be always in control, and you will be living in hell, all right? You might be supervisor, manager, CEO, or president, but you're not a leader there because nobody's following you, okay? Second, great manager, extraordinary manager, rational, extraordinary, clear vision, clear strategy, metrics, process, system. They are guys focused on numbers. Numbers. They are very confident, high level of self-esteem. The problem is that they got very easily trapped into a disease called arrogance, which is the opposite of kind. And that explains the reason why they lack an effective communication, because they don't know how to engage. They don't know how to motivate, how to inspire, because there are numbers, people. They sleep with spreadsheets. They don't focus on people. And that is the reason why they cannot communicate, engaging people. Third one, the last one, they respect them a lot, but not necessarily follow them because they don't trust them enough. Well, the other one has to do with those guys who everyone loves, right? You have to see them. Oh, man, they're so great. That guy's so cool. Oh, man, I love him. It's like my father. Oh, happy birthday. They're so kind, so humble. I mean, they're so helpful, great coaches, great. I mean, oh, man, they're great. But they most of the time got trapped into a disease called lack of confidence and lack of sense of direction. It's like, oh, I love that guy, but it's a shame he doesn't know where he's going. He doesn't know the job. It's like he doesn't have the knowledge. He doesn't have the skills. I don't want him to lead that change process, but I love him so much. Oh, he's so great, but I don't trust him enough. In order to move people, what you have to do is to find a balance between rational and emotional, between heart and brain, between being brave and kind. Okay, people don't want to move. Before you try to move them, you have to build trust first. You build trust by being brave and kind. That means have a clear vision, have a clear strategy, have a clear communication strategy when it comes to communicating this vision, that strategy. And then focus on people, the most important asset in the organization. Focus on them, be friendly, treat them like they were family. And only then, you might be ready to lead them and to move them. And they will move. And you know why? Because they are open to change, ready to change, ready to move. Can I ask you a very quick question? Have you ever been in a position where you had that feeling that there are people that they just don't want to follow you, right? Yes. Hey, don't blame them. Don't ever blame them. Take a look at yourself. Try to figure out which part of that trust model you should improve. That means change, move, right? Are you ready to move? So move the dog and change the world. Thank you very much. I'm so sorry.